Alrighty, so here we are with our first hand, and looks to be an excellent hand. Two lands, Burning Tree Emissary, and a bunch of 1-drops. This deck is obviously going to have some wildly fluctuating hand qualities, and this is definitely acceptable. Our opponent mulligans and starts on an Urza's Power Plant, and we draw a Tarkus command, which is very welcome. So we start off with Stomping Ground into a Kurdape, because we want to be able to trigger Revolt in case we draw Hidden Herbalists next turn. Hidden Herbalists. Alright, so our opponent maps and then Urborgs, which indicates probably Eldrazi Tron. Also indicates map is better on turn 1 than turn 2. And also indicates that we drew a great card, because Burning Tree is essentially going to be another body for free. So we go ahead and crack our fetch, Burning Tree 1, Burning Tree 2, just empty the hand out of the clown car, and even draw a Wild in the Cattle as a minor upgrade off the Metamorphose. So almost get everything into play, but unfortunately Renegade is probably not going to make an appearance this game, since this is going to be a lot of damage in conjunction with the Tarkus command, and our opponent just scoops him up. Yeah, Eldrazi Tron not having many good mass removal options, so if they fall that far behind, they're just done. So sideboarding against Eldrazi Tron, bolts are not going to effectively clear the way, whereas Dismembers are against Thought-Knot Seers. So one of the biggest problem cards is going to be Chalice on 1. So we definitely want at least some of our artifact destruction, and then beyond that we probably aren't really in the market for anything else. So want to take out the bolts here. Probably don't really need the Devastating Summons on the draw, and then shave a little bit more stuff. I mean, you don't necessarily need all 4 of these, but you probably just want to not lose to a Chalice. Although that is one of the issues against Eldrazi Tron, is that if you're bringing in artifact destruction, they can just not draw their artifacts, and you could be left with some very useless cards. So, like, this hand is perfectly acceptable, except we're gonna want to be using we're gonna want to see artifacts, otherwise we might be in a bit of trouble. And I mean, we drew 3 lands. That's clearly too many lands here. So Experiment 1 comes down, and our opponent Chalices. Looks like they have a pretty good start with Temple and Chalice. Of course, we don't even have any more 1-drops, is the issue with our hand. Otherwise, I mean, our hand isn't great, is the issue. The Tarkus command, not a bad draw, so we're able to Revelry away the Chalice, hit for 2. Unfortunately, turn 3 Thought-Knot is pretty much a beating against any old deck, and we are included in that. And now we can't really do anything. And our opponent even knows about this Ancient Grudge, so they are inclined not to prioritize any artifacts. Even just knowing about Ancient Grudge is a pretty big deal, since they can wait and Chalice for 2. to play around it. So we're gonna surge out a bushwhacker here. Still not great. The thought knot is still too big for most of our board is the issue, and we don't really want to be trading with matter reshaper, and even that dismember really puts us back to just being brick walled by the thought knots here. So our opponent really all in here with Simian Spirit Guides even, and they double Spirit Guide into Endbringer, which is going to prompt a concession from us, because yeah, no way we're beating that card at that point in the game. So we go to game 3, finally on the play, and pretty good hand. I mean, not really completely explosive, but for not having burning trees or hidden herbalists, it is a great curve. And there's a herbalist off the top, which actually works great with the renegades. We don't need any sort of filtering to just play 2 renegades. So we fetch a Sacred Foundry to make sure our Nicaddle's a 3/3. Yes, we do need planes for Nicaddle. And then are able to just massively flood the board. And alright, you have 1 permanent to our 6 permanents. So Flinthoof Boar, just going to give it haste. Want to push as much damage as possible. And our opponent's at 5 and just dead before they could do anything. So yeah, pretty much another welcome to modern moment. It accentuates what modern is all about, trying to just do ridiculous things as fast as possible, and we succeeded in doing that this game, that's for sure, and won the match as a result.